Yo, what is up everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Hope you've been doing well. Today we are here to finally rank all of the Tamashii Nation's SHF Dragon Ball releases from 2023. I did this last year and I quite enjoyed doing that, so I'm going to do it again. And I want to give my little 2 cents on each figure we've gotten this year, how I feel about them. And I'm going to try to keep this short. I don't want it to be like an hour long, right? Otherwise I would have streamed this. But I'm going to try to keep it well within a decent time. If you're ready though, be prepared for the long haul because we're going to get into this. So let's dive deep and start from the beginning. So we've got Gamma 1 and 2 who released January, February. The release dates, we're not going to get into that because it varies from month to month based on if you're following Japan or, US release dates, whatever. But Gamma 1 and 2, they came together. As characters and their designs, they don't have too much different about them. Obviously they wear the same type of suit, same type of getup. They have different horns and different numbers and different colors. Now, as figures though, they both came with Gohan accessories. And I'm bringing this up because part of the ranking will include, what was good about these figures, bad about these figures, personal likes, dislikes, etc. Now, I know that a lot of people didn't like getting those Gohan accessories. Me, I was like in the middle. I was buying the figure anyway because I enjoy the characters, so it was more like a bonus to me, right? But for somebody else who doesn't really care about the Gammas, they're just like, wow, shit, I need those accessories. How am I going to get them besides not, buying the figure or whatever? And, that I can understand totally. But I also think Tamashii didn't give enough time to the consumers to actually have an interest in these characters. The movie came out in Japan first, and it was like a little over 3 months, I feel like. A little bit more, maybe, than 3 months. That, US and other places had to wait for release, global release of the movie. And by the point that everybody got to see the movie, more people surprisingly like Gamma 1 and 2, and unfortunately those pre-orders closed for these two before we even got to see the movie, so you had to make your mind up really quick, because either you buy it for a little bit higher price on reselling sites or from a retailer who's boosting the price a little bit since it's a premium Bandai figure, or you were able to get in early and get your pre-order for retail price. That's like the unfortunate reality with SHF, and it happens a lot. So yeah, I don't know, it was a rough situation there. And the figures themselves are great, the accessories, they're cool. Do I feel like they needed to include them with them? Not really. I feel like part of premium Bandai is like, these are made to order anyway, so they don't have a whole bunch of useless stock sitting on shelves not getting sold. You've got a way to make figures that people want while also not having to worry about overproducing. And honestly, I feel like these two figures would have been fine without those Gohan accessories, but they're there. But as figures, I'm gonna put them both in the A tier. And yeah, we'll move on from there. Maybe I'll touch back near the end. Turles was a very, very, very cool release. I love the kill driver effect. I kind of wish that the Fruit of the Tree of Might wasn't bonded to his hand. I kind of would have liked to put that in other characters' hands for whatever reason, for a photo or something. But that's a nitpick. It's cool that he came with it anyway, and he came with a eating expression with his tongue out, which is just funny. And overall, I mean, from between Raditz and Broly and him, I like to see that progression of these Saiyan armor characters. He does really well as a figure posing. I can't remember if he comes with a earpiece or not. He should. If he doesn't, actually at this point he's gonna go for it even if he did. Any character that comes with a scouter, they need an extra earpiece. Like, that's required. I don't care. So hopefully that continues to be a thing, because it happens, sometimes I just don't want the scouter on these characters, and I know that they don't always do it, but I think most of the characters we've gotten have gotten that extra ear option. But as per ranking, you're going to be surprised to see he's going in the S tier. there's not a lot really wrong with him. I can't say that I find his knees being a different color super big issue. I think that they were a little too pale for some people, and it gave the impression that he was ashy or something. That's funny. But yeah, I feel like he was a really well done figure. Could be figure of the year for some people. I haven't seen too many of those lists yet. I'm on a little bit of a catching up spree right now. But second form Frieza now is the next up on the list. And, you know, I'm going to tie my points together for both of these because they kind of, you know, have similar issue in terms of, you know, both of these forms are releasing in 1 year. It doesn't give a lot of people a lot of breathing room. If they do like Frieza's forms, you kind of had to be there to get it, right? If you weren't there, you missed out. Now you got to pay aftermarket prices, which are just only going to keep going up, especially for forms that are not going to see the light of day again. You know, Frieza as a character has moved on from his original forms. He's now got golden and whatever the black form is called that he has now, because I don't know if we've gotten an official term for it. You know, he's got those. That's his new gimmick. The other forms, you know, second, third, fourth form he still uses. First form he kind of uses here and there. But kind of first, second, and third have been moving away, right? And the last time we got any kind of anime movie promotion of those forms was really DBS Broly for the little scale chart, right? So, my point being, though, is that, you know, these guys, once they're made and done for, I just don't see Tamashii re-releasing these guys in any kind of way. There's not a whole lot I could see them doing to make them different and unique enough for an event exclusive other than just saying, okay, we're going to re-release stuff now. That would literally have to be the option is EEs are now just re-releases of premium Bandai products. That essentially is what it would be. Not, oh, we're going to revamp it and make it new. I just don't see them doing that for these two. So if you missed out, it is 100% unfortunate because now you're missing out on what was a really good figure for both of them. I know people were kind of, you know, not happy with the heights for third form, but, you know, what are you going to do, right? Not everything is going to be perfect, and evidently it seems like they went with the smaller scale that I think was provided with Dragon Ball Super Broly. That seems to be what they pulled from, potentially. But again, you know, it's unfortunate for people who wanted that. Maybe AJ Customs makes a kit for third form. We know he's doing one for second form. But both of these S figures were really good. Third form, you could have given him one more extra ki blast though. You know he spams that attack every single time you see him in this form. He's literally spamming death beams. That's his thing. Second form Frieza, everything he came with, I'm pretty much mostly satisfied. I just don't like the extra horn option because I don't really see too much of a difference with the angled down eyebrow or whatever. You might as well just make it so each faceplate can fit either way. You know, not two faceplates fit for one head, two faceplates fit for another head. They should all just work seamlessly with each other no matter what. And that's been a little bit annoying for me dealing with those type of things, but that's a personal nitpick. So anyways, we've knocked two characters off this list. We're gonna put this Frieza here at A. I'm gonna put third form at B. All right, we gotta move into an interesting one here. We've got S.H. Figuarts Pan. Now, S.H. Figuarts Pan is an interesting one, right? She comes with a Gohan accessory. She also came with 2 water bottles, an extra bang option, and I believe just other hands. This figure was like $50+. Now, granted, yes, they have charged similar prices for small characters like Anya from Spy X Family. And honestly, I don't know how they get away with that because she hardly has any articulation for what she comes with. She looks cool. She looks nice. Pan looks okay. She has a really big head though. And I just don't see how they get away with that price for these smaller characters. And honestly, if they would have taken the Gohan accessory out, I'm curious if it still would be the same price of a figure. Because I honestly feel like she should have been like $35, maybe a little tiny bit more than $35, but not $50. Not for what she comes with, at least. So she's not even a full-size figure. And that's another thing, you know, the size of her head, it's too big. I find it funny when I put her next to any other character, but you know, I put the Anya head from the SHF on this Pan body and it looked infinitely 10 times better, and it just makes me wonder, why couldn't you just do that with the Pan? It would look so much better, scale a little bit better too, and just generally I think more people would have been captivated by it. But hey, big head, that's okay too, I guess. It's not like we haven't seen that before with other characters in the Dragon Ball line. It's just kind of funny. But yeah, I mean, she's an okay release, just not worth the money for sure. Definitely try to get her lower, $35, $40 maybe. And personally, I would have liked to see her maybe in the school outfit as opposed to this, because you know, she wasn't in this training outfit for a large part of the movie, but I guess that's fine. I just like that school outfit because it's more for the final setting of the movie, when everybody has their forms and fighting and whatnot. Just would have been cool. So we're gonna put her at C. It's sad. I could put her at D, but I'm being a little bit gracious because I do like it enough, but I don't think that a lot of what came with it and a lot of the figure's articulation works. You know, they definitely could have done something different. Just being honest. Cell Max, where you at? Chilai Lemo, where you at? Moving on. All right, we've got the new Super Saiyan Vegeta. I'm gonna be very quick and decisive with this one. For a $35 figure, you want this, right? Like, it's versatile. You can use it with other Vegeta heads you may have from Kong or Tonson or other SHF products. It works, right? You can even probably find a way to put Goku's head on there if you wanted to, for that kind of hyperbolic time chamber stuff, you know, from the Cell Saga. Also, you know, again, just for the price alone, $35, especially if you're like bundling it online using discounts and whatnot, great figure to pick up. You see it in store, also great because you can find them at Targets, Barnes & Nobles, Walmarts, etc. So just nice, you know, when you find those figures while you're just randomly doing stuff, not having to worry about pre-ordering, right? I can't remember. I want to say Trunks came out at the same time, near the same time, same month maybe. So Trunks, this is a hard one. Because I could put him in D, because a lot of the issues that he had could get him there. But I'm gonna be nice and put him at C, because, you know, despite all those issues, he is still a great figure to play with, right? He poses well, looks good. There's a lot of new interesting qualities about him, like the sheath not being pegged to the back anymore, a full sword that goes fully into the sheath and out, so it looks really cool. You don't have to keep putting little broken looking bits of it in there, you know, like how you have to do with other swords. I like that. You know, you just have one full effect and that's it. You get two bang options, you get some faceplates, you get a base hair. Really cool. Now, his issues, do they outweigh the goods? That's where I'm like 50-50 on, right? I think you shouldn't be required to fix a figure yourself out the box, right? Like, if it's something you caused, sure, try your best to fix it without breaking it more. But if it's something that comes out the box like that, no, I don't think you should be expected to fix that, especially if it's a $67 figure. I could let some things slide, like I did with, for example, the budget Luffy figure from One Piece. It's a $35 figure, it's cheap. I'll let a few things slide with that, right? It's not gonna affect me in the slides. Trunks, however, I could see somebody being a little bit pissed that a $67 figure is coming in their hands feeling loose, has the arms popping off a lot easier than maybe they think it should. What else? Torso coming in backwards, stuff like that, right? And I know the whole argument with the Vietnam factory and the China factory, honestly, you guys, just gonna say it right here, you gotta let that go, because China makes some fucked up stuff too. But also, you know, the Vietnam factory, they have good releases as well. So it's like on and off. We don't want it to happen, but you know, give them their wins when they have them, because they most definitely have released some great figures this year. That being LSSJ Goku. That figure was top of the line, just being totally honest with you. And that came from the Vietnam factory, so you got to give them credit. And if you're going to talk about the, you know, skin tone issue with that Goku, that's a whole other thing. We're not going to get into that right now. But yeah, that's kind of my ranking with that. So Broly, this is going to be quick. I'm going to put him at C. Here's why. He is one of the more forgettable releases for me this year. And maybe that part of that is because I already have Armor Broly from DBS. But at the same time, you know, this figure came out and just disappeared. Like, there's nothing interesting about him other than he's Broly, right? There's no Chilai Lemo with him. There's no effect piece for him. They gave you a Windy Gohan hair effect that I hardly see anybody use. Even for people who are not active posters on Instagram or YouTube or TikTok or whatever. Anytime I've seen Gohan in their collection, it's definitely not using that freaking windy hair sculpt. You could have found anything else that's Broly related to give to him instead of that windy hair. Just being totally honest. Additionally, you know, he just doesn't, I don't know. He had a very short role to play in that movie, and really, you're getting this figure if you don't have a Broly at all, or I guess if you really wanted to do something, you know, spice up your collection, maybe make the shirt Broly with his neck collar from the movie DBS Broly or whatever, right? I could see it. Or you just really like Broly. But for me, he's just one of those characters, this figure I should say, that just didn't leave an impression on me. Yeah, that's about all I can really say. For the next Broly we do get, though, you know, I think it's going to be a Z version. Base Broly, maybe. That one, for sure, will leave a lasting impression. But yeah, if you got him, I mean, it's not a bad thing. It's just, for me, I just didn't see anything super memorable. Anyways, I think we're going to do Orange Piccolo and Beast Gohan together. So, here's the thing. I am in a weird place with how I feel about Tamashii and their soft plastic applications. They are still learning, fine-tuning, and testing. And it has been on and off good this year. Beast Gohan and Orange Piccolo, they were okay, right? They're not horrible. My thumbnail may have exaggerated that a little bit, but do I think Beast Gohan was like the worst release of the year? No. Do I think he was a bad release? Maybe. The guy just, he poses about the same from the waist down, of course, as the superhero Gohan we have. However, you know, the torso just not having that same range just kind of bugs me. And, you know, if you do take measures to mod it, it does make the sash rise up in the back, you know. Same with Orange Piccolo. However, Orange Piccolo does perform a little bit better in my opinion, because as a bigger figure, they do have a little bit more space here in the chest, you know, for him to move and use his articulation. And just generally, you know, with the arms and legs, he just gets some really good range. Plus, they finally gave this Piccolo an ankle swivel, thank God. And Beast Gohan, I mean, he came with some really nice accessories. Came with a pre-transforming face for the superhero Gohan, special beam cannon, and it comes with a stand, so cool stuff. Additionally, I think Orange Piccolo just, did we need Kamehameha blasts? Not really. Did we need peg hands for Gohan? I guess. Did you really though? I don't know. If you were gonna give anything to anybody, it should have been some kind of effect piece for Piccolo. I don't know why they wouldn't do that. And that's another thing too. We actually, I knew some people thought that Pan might be like a double pack with Orange Piccolo, because you could absolutely see that happening, right? Like a Tien Chaozu situation, and that just didn't happen. So where do I rank these guys? I'm gonna put, in terms of articulation, right? In terms of articulation, gonna put Gohan in B, but if I had to base it more on the accessories, I'd put him at A. However, as a figure that plays well, I'm gonna put Orange Piccolo in A. I like him a little bit more than Beast Gohan, just being honest there. Now, moving on to something totally different and new, which was the effect kit this year. Love what they did with it. Would like to see more, not just for Dragon Ball though. Now, it did have its problems coming out the box. Yes, as a collector, more people should just, as soon as you get a figure, hot water that shit, alright? Especially this effect kit. I took one of those rings with the peg on it, put it into an effect, and tried to take it out gently, and it broke. Like, that was the easiest I've ever seen something break in my hands that fast. And it was annoying. Luckily, they give you enough rings that you lose one, okay, no big deal. You lose 3, all right, now you've got a problem. So that was a little bit of the issue there. Could they have chosen a little bit of a different material for the rings? Yeah, I think so. And I would have liked to see that. And if they end up doing this again, I would like to see those choices in mind, because I don't want to end up accidentally breaking something that's that fragile. It's poor, it's bad. Anyways, where would I rank him? I mean, they gave you 2 Ki Blasts too that you could virtually attach to most any average sized figure. So again, also the effect kit is versatile, not just for Dragon Ball. I've seen a lot of people using it for a lot of stuff. Marvel, Marvel, DC, other animes, etc. Just combining those effects look really cool. So I'm gonna move him into the A, despite that problem with the pegs. But for the versatility alone, for what they gave you as part of the package, good stuff. Let's do this. Trunks. I can't remember if he came out before the Goku kit or not, but I definitely know he was before 19. So this Trunks is kind of in the same boat as the Vegeta. You know, you're getting a nice, cool, updated body. They did sacrifice the base head though. That to me was kind of like an unnecessary move. I think if you would have kept the figure there with the original accessories but updated, I mean, a lot more people might be happy about that. But for you to take it away is kind of sucks. Because when are you gonna make another figure with that hairstyle? Like, just being totally honest, if they make another Trunks with a 3.0 body, right? Is it gonna be that same hair type that we're not getting, or is it gonna be something totally different? I have no idea. And it sucks if that hair sculpt was just kind of lost to time. But still, for 35 bucks, same deal, you know? And I believe, yeah, Vegeta and Trunks kind of share similar peg sizes anyway, so, you know, there you go. Android 19. This guy right here, he exceeded my expectations. And I'm not sure if Dr. Gero will, but I definitely think the Android 19 was a solid figure this year. And that's not even a joke. Like, I know people are probably not even remembering that this dude came out because it happened so quick and barely anybody probably cared to talk about him. But this figure was like done very well. I think the articulation is a lot better than we thought it could be for a big character like this guy. Because not even Majin Buu has like this kind of good articulation. And I mean, he's a bigger character than Android 19, but still, like, Android 19 can just, he's got articulation really well done in the shoulders and the arms with the butterfly joints, in the torso area, getting that lean over and stuff like that. The neck to head, you know, with the articulation there, not really much you can get out of it, but I do like the swappable headpiece with the accessories. That was really cool. Don't care for the Vegeta stuff though. Could have gone without that, totally honest. Like, it's not even that different from the other faceplate he comes with officially. It's just literally looking down with the same yelling expression. Like, come on now. You could have found something a little bit better to give Android 19. Maybe maybe even giving him the white boots so you can swap out for the Android Saga look for Vegeta. That would have been great, Tamashii, but no. Or a base head from the one that we've seen at these different events. I know a lot of people want that, but Tamashii, was just like, nah. But as a figure, I'm gonna probably catch some flack for that, but I'm putting him in the S tier because there's virtually nothing wrong with him. I like the figure. It poses well. Personally, I like the shiny look. Reminds me of porcelain, like how a toilet looks, very shiny, glass-like. I kind of like that look for Android 19. It gives him like a robotic feel, like a new robot is gonna look shiny in some places, man. I just think that it looks cool. If it was matte, it'd be cool too, but I just don't mind it. Anyways, wow, we're almost done here. LSSJ Goku, no questions asked. He's in the S tier. He was outstanding. This dude has extremely great posing capabilities. All right, accessories on point. One extra head, 2 bang options, a Kamehameha on top of all the different hand options, and just a stellar design. Now I know that there's a couple of things about him, like, let's just talk about it. The skin tone being a different color than some of the other parts of the body. Honestly speaking, though, I've had this figure now for a few weeks, and I have it in my hand while I'm talking about it. I still think that it's being overblown, because looking at the figure in some normal light, can hardly see the difference. I only see the difference when I'm taking photos, literally. And I know that that's probably like, yeah, you should be annoyed about that. It's not even that big of a deal when I'm taking photos. Like, I can see that there's a little bit of a difference there, but it's not detrimental to me, like, in the slightest. It's there. Cool. Now, the height thing. Yes, he's smaller than some of the other Gokus for whatever reason. I don't know why. I think it's annoying. However, height is not a big factor to me with these figures, because after seeing the various different figures we've gotten from different lines, none of them will ever be 100% accurate. I cannot ever expect Tamashii Nations to get on such a level that every figure that they release, specifically in this Dragon Ball line, is fit to scale. I cannot expect that. It's not realistic. So that's kind of my stance with that. Now, Metal Cooler, I just got this figure, and I'm gonna say he is gonna sit in the seat. That's it. I'm not gonna say why. No, I'm gonna say why. I got him now, and I feel like he's really weird, right? Like, he's cool. He looks stellar if I just put him in a nice pose and leave him there. This figure, though, they sacrifice a lot of the articulation, I feel, for design. And that's not always a bad thing, but for this guy, I still would like to pose him very, well and uniquely, or as much as I can take the articulation to. However, he doesn't have an ab crunch. He has to use the upper torso kind of, bend there to go left and right. Or not left and right, forward and back. What am I talking about? And his accessories, they're just bare bones a little bit too much. Like, cool, he gave us an extra arm for the repairing effect, but you know what would have been even cooler? No pun intended. Give us a plastic piece to swap out on the torso that actually has that fully battle damaged look, like he just got striked there and his arm came off. Honestly, that arm that they gave is made out of plastic. It's not like painted in the same level of detail either. It looks good, but they could have added some kind of effect piece in there at all. A mini supernova for his finger, something, a death beam, just something, right? And it just kind of leaves me in a weird spot, because it's like, I paid $120, but I'm wanting more. The figure alone is not giving me that satisfaction that I thought it might give. So I'm putting him at C just because I feel like the value didn't hit. It didn't hit. And I thought it would, but the figure alone just doesn't do it for me there. And I probably am not going to have him in my top 10 at all. And yeah, we're gonna move on, because the more I say, the more I ramble, the more people will get mad. But the World Tour exclusive Goku. This one, it's, a re-release, updated figure. So there's not too much different about it besides obviously the new colors being more vibrant. I think they painted on, not painted, but kind of stenciled in the battle damage marks across his body with like black marker. There's probably a more professional term I could find for that, but off the top of my head, that's what I'm going to say. He's got the pearl scent, kind of translucent hair, and then an aura effect. Cool stuff. I think he comes with a World Tour stand as well. That's from the event, anniversary, I should say. And pretty cool stuff. I can't really see anything bad about him. I don't have him, but I have the original version, and if he's just as good as that with the actual effect piece too, put him in the A. Sudden Gohan, Sudden Goku. This was a shocker. A double pack for an EE. Wasn't expecting that at all. I don't know. It's really cool to see that happening. I would like to see it more for not, a different price. I need to see them keep it in line a little bit, because even the price that this Gohan and Goku came at, which was like between 70 and 80, I was pretty surprised, because I could have seen them just doing an even 150 for each. I don't know. It's an exclusive. They probably could have priced it a little bit higher if they wanted to, but yeah, it's a solid deal, solid package. Unfortunate that it's an EE, so people kind of probably weren't able to all get it. But as a figure, cool stuff. So I'm putting it in A. Raditz, same figure, different colors for the manga. They gave you a Kid Gohan this time to recreate that scene from the Saiyan saga. Really cool. I think he comes with an alternate face as well. So he, can either look like he's yelling or crying, I think. I can't remember what the other one was. But cool stuff. I think he comes with a stand too. And yeah, just generally, Raditz is a pretty cool figure, pretty good. Turles, like I said, takes on what Raditz does, what DBS Broly did, or DBS Armor Broly did, and kind of incorporates those features and improves them in this figure. So, again, very curious to see what more Saiyan armor characters look like in the future, like Super Trunks, Super Vegeta. Those would be great releases to have. Waiting on you, Tamashi. But I will put him in the B, or Jesus, in A. Yeah, we're getting into the final bits of this, and I am gonna put this Vegeta at B. This is why. Cool that we got the aura. Cool that we got Majin Vegeta again. However, this Majin Vegeta is, in the grand scheme of things, I feel like is not necessary. It's cool. We got an updated, repainted figure, but we will be moving into the Buu saga very, very soon, right? Like, we're really closing out the Namek saga. You've seen that we've gotten full power Frieza. All we're really left with at this point, if they really, really, really want to make these figures, is like Nail, Transform Zarbon, and Armor, the other Armor Vegeta when he has Krillin blast him in the stomach. Those are the other three. Very much so they can make some other random character. They could make a giant guru if they wanted to. But yeah, we're closing out the Namek saga. And we're closing out the Android saga. So what are we left with? We're left with Cell saga, Buu saga, and GT, which is doing its own thing on and off. Dragon Ball Super is potentially making some kind of return in the lines more, but I guess we'll see. I definitely think that this Vegeta, though, in terms of the grand scheme of things, is just not going to hit as well. And I really will be hyped to see an updated, engineered Majin Vegeta, or just of training suit Vegeta in any regard. Doesn't even have to be Majin. So yeah, that's kind of how I feel about that. It's not a horrible figure. It's nothing mind-blowing, right? This Kid Goku, I'm gonna put him in B. This guy right here was a Tamashii Nation store exclusive. He still is available in stores. However, you know, there's only 3 Tamashii Nation stores in the world, I believe. Shanghai, Tokyo, and New York. Yeah, I believe that's it. So it's an extremely rare figure, I would say, in that regard. Easy to obtain if you're in those areas, of course, because they restock them all the time. But if you're not, then you've got to go through resellers who, you know, for the most part, some price pretty fairly, you know, $15 increase, $20 increase maybe. Some go above that, and that's where you stay away. But, you know, he comes with some cool stuff. It's nothing too crazy, right? I think he comes with, that's in terms of what's different, he comes with a windy hair, I believe, and then updated faceplates, and the power pole, and what else? I think that's it. Nothing too crazy there. But yeah, I mean, I feel like this could have been a nice little general release too, but I get it. They opened a new store in New York this year. This was a good way to also promote that store, get people driving, you know, driving people's attention is the better expression, I should say. So I get it. It worked, and they got it. They got people coming. And they're doing the same thing with Naruto next year in January. And honestly, in terms of that figure, that's one I feel like a lot of people don't necessarily care about because it's a smaller release, right? There's not a whole lot different about it. It's not that old. This Kid Goku, though, you know, we're still waiting for a new Kid Goku, which is the GT Goku, releasing in January of this year, 2024. But, you know, this specific Dragon Ball Kid Goku, I don't think we've had one for a little while now. And for it to be store exclusive can be disappointing. But as a figure, pretty cool. It works. Nice articulation, just like the last one. Just, I don't know. Store exclusive? No. Not happy about that. But yeah, I mean, this is pretty much the tier list. This is it. And we had a lot of A's because, you know, this year really wasn't that bad. Like, we had some really, you know, good figures. The ones in B, those are not horrible figures, but there's things that definitely could have been improved or given or changed about the style of release. C is just, unfortunately, it just didn't hit me the way that I wanted it to, or there were issues that just couldn't be overlooked and had to be, you know, accounted for. And that's really mostly just Trunks in there. But, you know, cooler, like I said, I wanted more out of him. And when I got the figure, I thought I would, you know, feel like super excited and happy to have him. But I'm sitting here just like, dang, yeah, I do want more with this figure. Like, this is the first time I really had that feeling. Because usually most of the figures satisfy me, you know, because I've got a whole gang of characters, you know, they can interact, pose with each other. But Metal Cooler just is, I don't know. But yeah, I don't want to keep rambling. I'm going to let it end there. If you guys have a top 10, or if you guys want to rank all these releases on your own, you know, let me know in the comments. What did you like the most this year? What did you least like the most this year? All that kind of stuff. We're moving into 2024, and get ready because we've got a whole load of figures to freaking get prepared for. Some double release months too. So it's going to be quite a fun one this time, alongside all the other companies releasing their stuff. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the reviews, enjoyed your holidays, enjoyed New Year's. Peace.